If you keep doing these 8 things, your body will break down way before it should. You might think you're on the right track, but these mindset traps are secretly holding you back from strength, energy, and longevity. Let's fix them fast. The first mindset trap is thinking sleep doesn't matter. You can't outwork bad sleep. When you sleep, that's when your body is going to recover all the way from one day to the next. So this is when our body is going to detoxify, which is what helps our immune system. And it's what's going to help our brain retain what we've learned the previous day, get rid of what it doesn't need, and be prepared for what's coming up the next day. As well, your metabolism and all of the rebuilding that your body's doing for your organs, muscles, bones, tendons, ligaments, all of that repair work is happening primarily when we sleep. So if you want to be able to build muscle, have better health, have better cognition, improved memory, improved focus, improved cardiovascular health, and overall a strong immune system, then you need to sleep. So being able to prioritize 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep is what's going to make a huge difference in how you feel and how you recover from one day to the next. It's not as simple as just saying you're going to sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. You want to make sure that you're actually preparing for sleep. So just like you get ready for work in the morning, you want to get ready for bed at night. This is what's going to help you stimulate what's called your parasympathetic nervous system. And that's the part of our nervous system that calms us down. So there's simple strategies that you can use to really tap into that. So this includes doing anything you can to calm the lighting down. It doesn't have to be pitch black, but calm that down, no bright overhead lights. Thinking about the temperature in the room when you sleep. Not too hot, not freezing cold, but a little bit chilly usually works best. Sometimes people do things that relax them, like they'll take a shower, they'll read a book, anything where you really aren't having to think too much, but something that works well for you to just simmer down at the end of the night is going to be something that you'll want to do. And you'll want to do this habitually so that your brain knows once those lights go out for the last about hour before you fall asleep, once you start to read that book, once you start to take that shower, it will learn that it's preparing for sleep and it will be able to fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. Colorful foods are not just for plant-based eaters. Pigments found in fruits and vegetables are full of antioxidants, nutrients, and minerals that decrease inflammation, improve gut health, and support longevity. It's not about cutting foods out, it's about adding more nutrient-dense foods to your diet. The more colors you can have on your plate, the better. Think greens for the micronutrients. That red that you find in the strawberry is going to be full of antioxidants, or the orange that you find in fruits or vegetables is going to be great for immune function. So on a day-to-day basis, think throughout the course of the day, try and eat the rainbow, meaning having foods of all of the different colors, whole foods, to make sure that you're supporting your whole health as best as you possibly can. I've seen this time and time again. You say you don't have time to meal prep. It's not about time, it's about your priorities. If you don't have time for basic nutrition, then it's time to restructure. Eating highly processed foods or fast food are not only bad for your waistline, they're also bad for your gut health and your energy levels. Meal prepping isn't just about spending hours in the kitchen multiple days per week. It's about being efficient with the time that you are in the kitchen. So try batch cooking, whether it's your proteins or your vegetables, and being able to put together easy meals that are going to be good for your overall balance of your health. Making sure that you don't overwhelm yourself. So start with one meal that you struggle with already. So if you typically eat out for lunch, maybe start with batch cooking your lunches. If it's dinner, try that. And then you'll get the hang of what do I like, what don't I like, and you'll be able to implement more sustainably. The next mindset trap is thinking cardio is a waste of time. If you think cardio is just about losing weight, think again. Cardiovascular health is not just about burning calories, it's about improved heart health, improved brain function, and longevity. A strong heart is going to give you better circulation, improved endurance, improved energy, and overall a better quality of life. So instead of dreading endless treadmill sessions, try focusing on function. So that might be going out for a hike, going for a swim, a bike ride, might be getting in your yard. It might be doing high intensity interval training. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's activity that you enjoy and your heart rate is elevated throughout the entire session. So you don't need to run a marathon to have a healthy heart. What you do need is moving. So if strength training builds muscle, cardio exercise is what builds resilience. The next common misconception is thinking, as long as I'm going to the gym, I'm good. Now, hitting the gym is great, but what are you doing in the other 23 hours of the day? Because it all matters. So if you're going on to the gym, but then not prioritizing nutrition, sleep, recovery, and all the other aspects that are what's going to truly help your body function in the long term, then you're missing a good chunk of what's going to make the big difference. So really make sure that you're thinking about the other 23 hours. So that could be making sure that you're filling in your gaps with mental health, stress reduction, eating the rainbow, making sure that you're also prioritizing the recovery that you're doing after you go to the gym. So you get strength and you get all the other functional benefits of microbiome, brain, heart, and lung health. One missed workout, one bad meal, or one late night does not ruin progress, but thinking it does can. This kind of mindset leads to burnout, yo-yo dieting, and overall just quitting. It's really all about finding the balance in the overall plan for how you're going to stay healthy and active for the long term. So think about small, sustainable steps that you can implement consistently, and that's going to be what's going to make the biggest impact. So if you have a setback, that's going to be part of the progress. It happens to everybody. So the challenge is taking that mindset and shifting it to saying, if I miss something, use that as a way to learn and grow rather than using it as a way to feel down upon yourself. The more that you can learn and grow, you'll be able to implement strategies that are truly effective for you. Identify those barriers, and that's the win, not the setback. If you think meditation is just for monks and yogis, you're missing out on one of the most powerful tools to decrease stress, improve focus, and increase longevity. Chronic stress increases inflammation, it weakens the immune system, and it speeds up aging. Meditation isn't just about quieting the mind, it's about training mind. Even in just 5 minutes a day, you can make a big impact on how you are able to train that brain and get the most impact from it. So if sitting still isn't something that's for you, that's okay. You can try things like guided meditation, deep breathing, or even mindful movements like Tai Chi or yoga. The next mindset trap that's more common now than ever is thinking that sitting all day is totally fine. Our bodies were not designed to sit for long periods of time because when we sit, we're actually increasing the amount of stress on the facets and the discs in our spine, as well as putting a major amount of stress into the back of the hip itself. So when we stand, our hip is going to be in what we call a neutral position, versus when we sit, our hip is in 90 degrees of flexion. And when we walk, we need to be able to have 20 degrees of hip extension. So our spine's curve is going to be at its most normal amount, which is like right there in the middle of that lordotic curve when our leg is right underneath us. And when we walk and we move, we're going to get gentle motion throughout the duration of the activity, which is what keeps the synovial fluid, or that little bit of fluid in between all of our joints, flushing the joint surfaces to keep them healthy and happy. So why do we do this all day? Is because we work, and I totally get that. Quick thing that you can do is have a couple things in your toolbox to use. That way you don't sit for too long for any period of time. So we can use things like technology, our phones, our watches. We can put a timer on to remind us, hey, it's been 1 hour, let's stand up. That could be using a standing desk. It could be taking a walking meeting. It could be going and getting, a glass of water and staying hydrated. It could also be something where you put a walking pad underneath you. So now you're going to get the best of both worlds. You're going to get some gentle walking, which is going to be great great fluidity for the joints of the hip and the spine, as well as the mid back. And you'll get a little bit of benefit of heart and lung action as well, which is going to improve concentration. I love walking pads at desks, as well as you can use other things that will be helpful of just being able to like have that little exercise break where like I'm going to actually focus when I take this next phone call. I'm going to do a lunge stretch and stretch into the front of the hip while I'm on the phone at my standing desk, because why not? I could also, every single time I get up to go get water, I go into a door frame and maybe you stretch the front of your chest to get you out of that forward rounded shoulders posture. So, in general, just remember, don't sit for long periods of time, meaning more or less more than an hour or two without taking a break to stand up, and you will overall be able to improve the longevity of your spine, hip, and be able to have that better upright posture, which decreases pain. So, as you can see, there are really tangible steps that you can take that don't cost a lot of money or really increase your time. And they can make a big impact on how you feel now and a huge impact on how you age for years to come, which is only going to give you longevity and more quality of years of life. So make sure to like and subscribe. It helps our channel grow. And in the comments, just leave a little comment about like what was your biggest takeaway. Maybe start that interaction with engaging with a bigger community, which is really what we're hoping to do with this channel. All right, everybody. See you in the next video.